Hello and welcome to Ms. Larkin's sixth grade language arts class. Just a few things to know that I think can be super helpful to know about Schoology. You will see that there's this message icon. It looks like an envelope. This is how I communicate with students and vice versa. You could just ask your students if they've been checking their Schoology messages. You'll also see this little icon. It's a little calendar up in the top right corner of each course. When you click on that, the entire calendar will open up for that course. Highly recommend to students that they always go to the course to help them better find the assignments for that class. Basically, I use Schoology as my main way to communicate with students and also to communicate with you. Students will submit on Schoology and I will provide feedback on Schoology. It's really easy to see my feedback on Schoology. I've told all the students this. Use the red Schoology app. Open up Language Arts, then click on Grades. It's on the left side of the screen. Look for the specific assignment, and then you will see a score. This just means the student has a score. If they received an additional comment, it will be right there. So anytime students receive less than a 3 on an assignment, I will give further feedback than the proficiency scale. And that gives them an opportunity to read my feedback, to revise their work, and then to resubmit. Um, with the feedback loop, I tell students they have 3 opportunities to resubmit. So they can take my feedback, maybe they revise it. They didn't get the score they wanted. They want to go a little bit higher. They can take my feedback and they can do that. And again, up to 3 times. And I'm letting you know that. So if your student's like, I don't know where my feedback is, you can see that it's really easy for them to see their feedback. The nice thing about the red Schoology app is when you open up grades in the course, you will see all the feedback for all of their assignments. So what do we do in language arts? Well, we read and we write. We do lots of reading and writing, and we also speak and we interact. And pretty much anything to do with language is what we do in language arts. So one of the first things I get kids started on is it's their independent reading genre log. This is a trimester long assignment. Students have already made a Google Drive language arts portfolio, and inside that portfolio, they have created a folder that says independent reading. With every unit that we do this year, they will make a corresponding folder in Google Drive language arts portfolio to put all that work. So what's nice about that is it's a way to help them organize all of their work when it comes to language arts, and might be something they want to do in other classes as well. So you'll see here in language arts, the students made a copy of their independent reading genre log. They will be doing this every trimester. Some of the directions might change from trimester to trimester, but my goal with this is I want students to really challenge themselves when it comes to independent reading and maybe try out new genres, something that they haven't tried out before. Ask your student to take a look at their log. It's actually several pages long. I try to list as many genres as possible, and I also provide examples for every single genre as well. So if they're looking for something to read, they can find it in their independent reading log. And they've all gotten onto the King County Library system. I have an in-class library, and we have our IMS library as well. Along with our independent reading, students are going to be writing about what they read. And and I'm learning in 4 different ways to interact. Identifying the theme of what they read And like a theme is a complete sentence, which is a life lesson the author wants to convey, kind of like the moral of the story. Here's an example. The theme of The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien is that facing difficult obstacles can make you a stronger person. Another way to interact with what you read is through a meaningful passage. It's just pulling a passage out from the text and sharing it and writing about it. The example I give here is in a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit, not a nasty, dirty, wet hole filled with the ends of worms and an oozy smell, nor yet a dry, bare, sandy hole with nothing in it to sit down on or to eat. It was a hobbit hole, and that means comfort. Another way students can interact is either through a window or a mirror. A window helps you learn something about a culture or identity that is unfamiliar to you. It lets you experience someone else's identity and as a result builds empathy. A mirror reflects your own culture and helps you build your own identity. And like how, where do you see yourself in this story? The concept of windows mirrors actually I learned about several years ago through an interview that I had seen with Angie Thomas. And I really liked the way that she um, was helping students to better figure out like how they can interact with what they read, that you see yourself in what you see yourself reflected back, or you're opening up a window and you're learning. And another way to interact with their independent reading is making a text-to-text connection. You're connecting what you read with any other kind of published text. And then with all of this, I'm always asking, what did you learn from this? What did you learn from this? And really and truly, this year is about taking a journey. Don't know where we're going to go. It'd be lovely if it was always a sunny day like we see in this image, but there's going to be turns and bends, and there's going to be challenges, and hopefully a lot of joy and fun along the way, a lot of learning. And I would have to say, I'm just so pleased with my students right now. They are just throwing themselves into language arts, and I know it's going to be a wonderful year.